that allows you to instantly recognize a person that is toxic. And what I'm going to do now in the comments for everyone, if you go through my comments under the videos, any video basically, then what I'll be doing is uh putting the acronym TM there, or just toxic metaframe, toxic metaframe, or toxic metaframe in general, and that will be an indicator for you to see, who is putting out a toxic comment. And it won't be a response for the person that is writing it. This will be for everyone who wants to understand what toxic metaframes look like. So I'll just put like TM or toxic metaframe written out, and so whenever you see this, you will recognize it. And what you can also do is, if you recognize a toxic metaframe in my comments, feel free to just comment TM or toxic metaframe, and then I can say, okay, now you found it. Or and I think it also has the benefit of reflecting and putting toxic metaframers into their place. So when you in my comments see a toxic metaframer, just put in like TM or toxic metaframe written out as much like you want. It could be short, it could be long, it doesn't matter. And then I'll see it, and I'll comment on it as well if it's necessary. And that way we'll start to put toxic metaframers into their place. And because I really believe we're in a time where we need to understand toxic metaframing, and we have to start to uh, reflect it back to them and go on a more conscious level, basically. So that's the idea why we should do this. So, for example, there was a guy, Juan, for example, said, "Holy yap, that man has done for one." I made a comment on Sadhguru, and that guy says, "Holy yap, that man has done more for this planet than you sitting in your little camper van trying to pick up chicks, acting like you have special powers. Calm yourself down, stay in your lane." And I just replied, "That's a toxic metaframe." And he says, "What's a metaframer?" So of course, by the way, never try to explain to a toxic metaframer what a toxic metaframe is. It's completely waste of time, because it's an unconscious person, and they'll just get aggressive, or just they try to turn it around. Narcissists are specialists in turning it around on you, whatever you say. And if you invest in it, they'll actually use that to their advantage. They'll just find it funny. Hi, Tomasz. They'll just find it funny or interest. They'll just use basically the fact that you even gave them your time, your attention, and it kind of like, look at how stupid this is. Like, you go on the street. Let's imagine you're on the street, and somebody says, "You fucking asshole." Let's just say, okay, or he insults you, okay, and you go over there and you say like, "Okay, that's a toxic metaframe," and then he's like, "What's a toxic metaframe?" And then you'll start to explain to them what toxic metaframing is. Do you realize how stupid that is? Like, unless he's extremely conscious. I recognize avoiding TM changed my life. Also for me, Tomasz. Also for me, the same thing. It's literally, it changes. And understanding that 10% of people don't do it, and 90% of people do it. It literally changes, because you can let go of all the 90% toxic people, and your life improves so much. Well, thank you for listening. And it improves relationships. And the opposite of toxic metaframing is compliments. Just watch what happens when somebody tells you, or you tell someone something, a toxic metaframe, and then watch what happens, the opposite of that. Try a nice, genuine, small compliment, and look at their energy field. And if you give a compliment to someone, and you see what positive effect it has on their energy field, then think about the same negative effect it has when you do a toxic metaframe. They just don't like to show you that negative effect because nobody wants to admit to it, but it does have a very strong negative effect. And a lot of times we experience negative effects much stronger than positive effects. So if I tell you, if I had a son and I tell the son you're a loser, it has a much worse effect than if I say you are a winner. But I think genuine compliments are even better. Hey, the thing that you just did, perfect, great, great way to try it, whatever. And once you understand that, all relationships change. The relationship to your children, the children to the parents, blah blah blah. It literally is like that once you understand it. And I had a woman on a camping site, a Belgian couple. It was, they just met over the internet and they made like a camper trip to Portugal. And I met them and we started to be friends. They invited me for dinner. He was nice, she was nice, but they had a troubled relationship right from the start. And she had also trouble with depression, blah blah blah. But they were both very nice. But in their relationship, he was toxic metaframing her all the time. So I went to go hiking with her, and she actually wanted a tantra massage from me, which I was like, I was sweating because I was like, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. I mean, she would have had sex with me 100%. And I'm like, oof, okay, I don't want trouble with people on the camping sites. So anyway, and I got along with her much better than he with her. Anyway, so we come back from hiking, and I told her, you know what? Try, instead of over toxic metaframing, and just try to give him compliments. And she was starting to give him compliments, and then she comes back crying to me, and he kept on toxic metaframing her. And I mean, she chose him. She chose a toxic metaframer. What is she gonna expect? But she didn't recognize toxic metaframing. I'm not sure if at that point I started explaining it to her, because I think I at that time that was my first summer van life, and I don't think I yet had the complete understanding of toxic metaframing. I don't think I had it. So it's just now that I have the full understanding. A few days ago, my general practitioner did one toxic metaframe after another. I just got up and left without saying a word. Awesome! This is exactly that, and you will find another one. There's enough other general practitioners that you can find. You don't need to be with that one. It's amazing. It's literally amazing. And I think one by one, and I'm not joking, everybody who understands toxic metaframing here from my channel and from my book, I think one by one we'll start to change the world. I literally believe that. I think once you take away the power from toxic metaframers, they'll be alone, basically. And when they're alone, they have to grow. As long as they're receiving attention, they're not growing. So you need to literally remove attention from the toxic metaframer. And that's where I believe that's truly where they belong. They don't deserve attention. And that's the thing you need to take away the most. And not because you want to change them. That's just a result of it. It's because you want to be self-loving. And self-love means choosing the state of your highest harmony. And if a person with their toxic metaframes is destroying your harmony and you're accepting it, just a little, you are not self-loving. You're not loving yourself. And going away from that person without even saying a word, the best ever. Oh, that's like chef's kiss. That's literally the best ever. So this is the perfect decision, perfect, action. And I do it now the same. Sometimes I cannot go away immediately. So I had the situation where I was, remember, I don't understand how anyone can go to him. He takes more than he gives, which it was weird doctor, yes. So when I was on the camping place and I was emptying my gray and black water, you remember the situation I was talking about, I'm not sure if on this channel, a German guy was saying, yeah, I can go before him, because I asked him. I was there before, but I still kind of politely asked, although I was there before and waiting. I was like, hey, I'm gonna go first if that's okay. He said, yeah, whatever. And so I went first and started cleaning my cassette and all of this stuff. And then I'm like, I'm still not finished completely. And I tell to him, oh, well, if you want, you can already empty your cassette. I finished with that. And he's like, no, I need to go in there. And I'm like, okay. And then he adds to that, he adds a toxic metaframe. He says, you could have already been finished, which was a massive toxic metaframe because it was just like a few minutes. It wasn't even 10 minutes that I was there. So, and I wanted to continue doing my stuff, but he was like this and watching me with the toxic metaframe over me, and I was like, you fucker. So in my mind, I was like, I just turned around to him and I say, you know what? It's pretty toxic what you just said. And then I turned around and kept doing my stuff, and he was like, well, I didn't. And then he was like, blah 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 blah, and then I said, listen, I asked you. Then he said, well, I have to go somewhere else, and I didn't know it's going to take that long. And I said, well, I asked you if it's okay. If it weren't, if it's not okay, you could have gone in front of me. I would have left you. I would have allowed you to go before me. And he was like, I didn't know it was going to take that long. And he was just an asshole. And then when I said there's no water coming out of the wall there, fresh water, I was like, okay, I'm leaving sooner because obviously there's no water. And he was like, you have to put coins in there. The person who can read is clearly in an advantage. Another toxic metaframe. But the box was kind of like grayish, not visible. It wasn't clear. That's like an automat where you can put in like coins. It wasn't obvious, and it was much higher up than the water, so it didn't make sense. There wasn't clear instructions. So, uh, so yeah, and I left, and he was still pissy. So that wasn't a moment that I could immediately leave. But I recognize that if I had not said anything, I would have kind of allowed his dominant energy to fuck with my day. But the interesting thing also is my energy when I came to that place was amazing. I was in such a good mood, but that place with him, especially him, completely fucked up the energy field of the rest of my day. I did some stuff like energy cleaning, blah blah blah, bija mantras. So the next day after that was fine, but I realized how dangerous to your psychoenergetic field it is to have these toxic people around you. So sometimes it's better to have much, much less people around you. And then I realized, because I assumed there's going to be a lot of people, I realized it's better to drive half an hour more, unless I'm tired, go to a place where there's no one, rather than go to a place which is packed, which has a high probability of some Germans with bad mood being there. Hey sir, I have a question. My girlfriend never talked to him in my love language with affirmation. I was generally compliment her. I compliment her in the best way possible. She thinks that she is the most luckiest woman ever. She likes everything about me. I compliment her that I do everything for her, but unfortunately I'm not happy in the relationship because she doesn't speak my love language. She doesn't compliment me as much as I want. Please tell me, what should I do? She doesn't compliment me as much as I want, so she does compliment. Does she toxic metaframe or not? If she doesn't toxic metaframe and she's supportive, then it's your problem in the relationship, not hers. You're trying to control her, and that's not love, basically. So there might be something else why you're unhappy. It smells more like a trauma that you haven't released. So if she's not toxic metaframing you and she's supportive and nice, the problem is yours, not hers. And don't try to control her as to what she's supposed to do or not do. Why do you need so much confirmation? It makes no sense. Just be happy that she's around you. It doesn't sound like love, to be quite honest. From your side. I don't know her. So, but over text is difficult anyway. But I would question the point is why do you need so many compliments? If she's not toxic metaframing, she's fine. That means she's 1 in 10 women, because 9 women out of 10 will toxic metaframe you. Do you ever think about making retreats? Yes, that's actually one of my bigger long-term plans. Maybe in Central America, open like a big retreat center or something, maybe, you know, something like that. Or do just like a 1-2 week retreat. That would be also interesting. Um, my biggest channel right now is the German channel. We just reached 2,000 subscribers yesterday. We're close to 2,100. So I would probably, I let's say it like this. To do a retreat or plan a retreat would make sense if I can reach a much wider audience. So if let's say the English channel grows to 10, 20,000 subscribers, then planning a retreat makes sense. Before that, it doesn't make sense because I would have to find other channels of promoting it and stuff, and so you need the reach to do that. It's all marketing, 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 marketing. Cannot start a retreat without that. And then it wouldn't even have to be a fixed place. It could be like a booked place and people come there. She's supportive, but can you please tell me what my problem is? You have trouble accepting yourself. That's why you need it from the outside, probably. That's my first guess. So if let's take this channel. Okay, so about a retreat. What I could start doing is I have an idea. I could make a video about this, like about a retreat. So if I get like 10 subscribers per day on this channel, it would take literally 2 months to get to 1,000 subscribers. A little bit more than a month, like a month and a half. In my opinion, you're the most comprehensive spiritual teacher I know. Thank you very much. That's very nice. But I really want her to compliment me. Is there something wrong with me if I want? Yeah, I think there's something wrong with you. To be quite honest, yes. And that's more like a fact. It's not a toxic metaframe. I think, spiritually speaking, if you need compliments, you're just not appreciating yourself enough. That's my view. It's nice to receive a compliment, but only if the other person gives it from themselves, from their desire to do this. But it's very hard to help you over text. We would have to do something like I would have to see you guys together and watch how things are going. You talk about things that others don't talk about. Thank you. I'm happy you know English, Tomasz. Libido empowerment, yes, super important. Libido suppression, toxic metaframing, all of this stuff. Yeah, so I'll go offline right now and I'll think about, what's coming next. I have a great tip for you, Tomasz. You're going to like this. I'll see you a little bit later. I'm going to write you privately. Hi, Yu. Yeah, you're a toxic metaframer, yes, but I'm going offline.